Alright everyone, this is my final criticism WWE video, unless I ever come back and make more, who barely knows, but bear with me, there'll still be more videos on this channel. So if you hear like some raining in the background, try to ignore that as possible. So I want to talk about a few things. So WWE's expansion. Every time they take they take a wrestling company like TNA for example, now they are partners. So here's the thing. Why can they not, let's just say, okay, if a certain wrestler is not being used on WWE, why can they not just go to TNA and just wrestle over there until WWE is ready to use that talent instead of, well, dare I say, fire them? Because if you have heard, all the wrestlers gotten fired like Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, and plenty more that I can possibly name, but I don't want to take forever and just name all of them. So, yeah. And on top of that, I also feel really, really sorry for all the wrestlers who have been released from their contracts with WWE. So this basically means that they can wrestle either for TNA, which would be kind of surprising at this point, or you can just say that they'll wrestle for New Japan, or AEW, which I know CM Punk said to Cora Jade, don't go to AEW/don't trust TK, also known as Tony Khan. But let's be completely honest. Let's all be for real for just 1 second. That's all I'm asking. So if the wrestlers end up going to TNA, the ones that get released, I have no respect for the WWE for just firing them. It's like you could have had just, switch up some talent, which ones are going to get more TV time from TNA. At least have a little bit of a real partnership instead of just, okay, we're going to just, have a partnership with these wrestling companies, but we're just not going to use or treat our talent right, basically. And I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying that regardlessly, honestly. It's like you gotta hold Triple H accountable sometimes. You just have to. I may not want to do it, but I just have to. Because as a wrestling fan, there are things that I like and there are things that I don't like. Like, there's our female wrestler that I don't like, which I've been mentioning pretty much a whole lot more, honestly, on this channel. It's been a long history. You guys have been with me throughout this journey in time, which is Liv Morgan and Tiffany Stratton. For plenty of reasons, I don't need to explain it to you, but however, since you are not willing to listen, then that's basically go out to the people that don't take criticism on, people that don't like wrestlers, and, that's okay. But the ones who have known me very well on this channel, I say thank you. So let's just go ahead and just get it out of the way if some of you guys are new and don't know what's going on. So apparently back in good old December 14th of 2023, Liv Morgan gotten arrested for, you guessed it, marijuana. So they're saying that it's not hers. Okay, then it came out to be true. It wasn't hers. Then after that, a tweet goes out on Twitter, and she's basically holding a joint in her hand. So my question is, was she gonna, kill herself by smoking weed while the oven is about to, I don't know, explode because she was celebrating a birthday party for good old Liv Morgan's friend, also known as Lana, also known as CJ Perry. So we don't know. So I'm a little bit mad at her, and I hope that, the whole weed stuff isn't true. We all know that Liv Morgan will never do drugs, but she hasn't come out and said it, which I'm a little disappointed. I wish she would just say it right now. Like, just say, okay, is it the truth? Do you or do you not? And then for Tiffany Stratton, on the other hand, her situation is a little bit different. I know that she smokes because she posted it on her Instagram, which basically means she was smoking a cigar on Instagram. And again, I did not like that, and I shall never forgive her. I will not forgive her, regardlessly, because, I have wrestling standards, and no female wrestler should not have any rights to smoke. Because smoking is bad for you, and everybody knows it, and if you defend this behavior, then I don't support you, and I will not have your back on any circumstances. At any point in time, I will not support you, and I will not be standing by your side. Because what you're doing is you're representing and supporting bad behavior. I don't support that, and it's bad, and I will stick by it. If you disagree with me politely, then thank you. If you don't disagree with me politely, then you know what? Then you're just going to waste my time, and I'm not going to argue with you. So, buzz off. Now, this is out of the way. Now, what are we really talking about here? We're going to be talking about WWE and how much purchasing that they can get from other wrestling companies. Will it end up going too far until WWE gets too big and too powerful until WWE and all these wrestling promotions collide their shows together and create Global World Championship Wrestling? I don't know, man. It's kind of getting to a point like anything can happen in the future. WWE can like go really too far with these expansions and more purchases to wrestling companies. I think wrestling companies should just be left alone unless they are in a partnership, but I don't want the partnership to be abused and go too far. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it out there just in case if it does. So let's just say it's a prediction. Say that that prediction is once WWE, Triple H buy all these wrestling companies around the world, they're going to create a big global championship wrestling show for all wrestlers from every breathing life. It basically depends on the competition. If if WWE wants to stay on top for about maybe 10 to 20 years, they will have to do a lot of expansions and a lot of, buying a lot of wrestling promotions and a lot of wrestling shows to add on their roster. I mean, the only thing that they have right now is TNA, and people are saying that WWE is going to maybe purchase or partner up with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that's basically about it. And then you have the other wrestling show, which I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know. It starts with the letter E, however, but again, I'm not going to announce it. I'm just going to end up messing it up. And then you have GCW, obviously, which y'all know what that is. I don't know. There are some points that you can purchase or partner up with some wrestling companies just to either borrow some wrestling talent or just wanting to collab a wrestling show together so it represents them and the other purchase that you did with the other wrestling companies. It just kind of depends. If it's going to be fair partnership, it's got to be fair partnership. Or if they're just ready to, give the TNA name to WWE so they can borrow, some parts of history and, say like, for example, let's just say if Christopher Daniels makes it to WWE and he wants to have a feud with AJ Styles and they use the permission or ask TNA's permission to use some of the old TNA clips, how, how that will all work and stuff. If they're okay with it, good. If they're not okay with it, they're just gonna have to, be creative and do things under WWE's umbrella versus TNA's umbrella. So there has to be a balance between good purchasing slash team ups with wrestling companies versus bad purchasing and, of course, wrestling companies. Then you have AEW, which they have Ring of Honor, right? So what does this mean for Ring of Honor? Does that mean Ring of Honor is still going to be in a strong, relationship with AEW? Or is Ring of Honor just going to wait until they sell themselves to somebody else and go independent? Or WWE is just going to purchase them and snatches it away from Tony Khan? Because meanwhile, Triple H has already purchased Triple AAA, which is a wrestling promotion for luchador wrestlers, basically wrestlers from Mexico, also known as Mexico, obviously. And it's like maybe take it easy on the purchasing on the wrestling companies, because the more you do that, then the more wrestlers are going to end up getting fired because of TKO purposes only, or something going on behind the scenes that we don't know. And then there was this one scene I seen on Instagram, which I'm not a fan of, which is WWE and Triple H are going to reveal how they book their shows and stuff. Not a fan of it. I'm just going to be honest with you, straight up. I'm not a fan of it, because you're just going to give away, this is we're going to push this wrestler. Like, say, like, Roman Reigns, for example, right? You guys hate Roman Reigns, and some people love Roman Reigns. What if you guys reveal something that is going to make the fans angry? And some of them have already known by using their heads and going, okay, we all know what's going to happen here. Either you got to be a good guesser or they're going to guess for you. Which brings me up to my next point. What does this mean for people who want to start a wrestling company all on their own? Does this mean that, you know, once WWE gets more bigger and bigger and more powerful and too powerful, does that mean that if I ever decided to create a wrestling promotion, does that mean they're going to stop me, or are they just going to end up purchasing me out and just, sweep me under the rug? I mean, I hope not, because I want more independent wrestling besides WWE, and I want, something different outside of WWE. That's why I love watching TNA or AEW or slightly a little bit of Ring of Honor. Unless I'm watching like flashback matches between Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, and Seth Rollins, which we all know and remember that match, of course. So, I don't know. I have plenty of questions, but I can only guess and talk about it on YouTube and see what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments below on how you guys feel about it. Just be honest. Just give me, something that will go, hey, this is fair, or this is not fair, or maybe there has to be consequences between two parties. And at the end of the day, no matter what goes on, if WWE wants to go out with this route, that's fine. But there are some points, you got to keep quiet. It's kind of like saying if, a special wrestler is going to show up at the Royal Rumble coming soon, and then what if there were leaks saying, Alberto Del Rio is going to make his epic return to the Royal Rumble? It's going to ruin the surprise. It's like, I want it to be a really hush-hush secret, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want that to happen if they're going to reveal the writing and how they book these matches. And you know how it is. We all know what wrestling's all about. It's predetermined, it's make-believe, and yeah, sure, it's fake. And I know some people are not going to like that. I get it. We want to treat wrestling like it's real. And don't worry, it is real, but everything else is fake. Like, it's just fake. That's just pro wrestling 101. Things are just fake, and some things are real, and some things are fake and real in between. And yes, and more other news besides that point, and since I'm glad I got that talked about out of my chest, I am going to be missing Carmella. And this is sad. Very, very sad. So Carmella is no longer going to wrestle anymore just because of how WWE ghosted her and stuff like that. We don't know. I wish there would be more information. I know she already talked about it on her podcast. Hopefully somebody will get more information and talk about it and see what's going on. And maybe she'll someday come back. I don't know. But for right now, I think she just should just take a step back and, take a break from wrestling and stuff, which is fine. As long as she, keeps her status on Instagram, we're good. That's all I care about. As long as she shows off her beautiful face, her beautiful physique, if you will, we should be fine. And also a couple of things, too. I didn't watch NXT or SmackDown. I was happy that Alexa Bliss returned and teamed up with Selena Vega, which was kind of epic. And she's confronting Charlotte Flair. We don't know. We're going to see that Extreme Rules one-on-one match against Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss again from last year, or we're gonna see them team up. Hopefully it's a team up, but if it's them going up against each other at Extreme Rules, then maybe they'll team up afterwards. Maybe, who knows? But I would love to see that. And yeah. And then of course, Selena Vega is your new WWE Women's United States champion. She won the championship against, of course, the one and only Chelsea Green. Please update that U.S. title. I cannot stress this enough. Please update it. It's red, white, and blue, not red, white, and gold. That's all I ask. And then, of course, my favorite wrestler of all time, Elijah, also known as Elias Sampson, the cool guy with the guitar, the guy that I met at WrestleCon from 2024. He was just absolutely the best. He made his epic, very, very epic debut in NXT. And will this mean that he'll go after the NXT Championship, or will he go after the TNA World Championship? We shall wait and find out, and hopefully things might get better. Who knows? I could be wrong, but all I can say is welcome back Elias/Elijah to WWE NXT. And hopefully we'll see him more on the roster, and maybe he'll finally become the World Heavyweight Champion or Intercontinental Champion that he deserves. Or maybe Selena Vega might just team up with Alexa Bliss more often, or plenty more. Who knows? There are so many team-ups that I want to see with Alexa Bliss teaming up with. But let me know in the comments below, you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for watching this video.